to episode 3 of the Crochet Luna podcast. My name is Claudia, and I'm coming to you from the San Diego area in Southern California. I hope you enjoyed a wonderful Easter break and that you got to spend time with family and friends. I actually had a wonderful Easter Sunday. I spent it with my husband's family, and we had a really nice egg hunt and some really yummy food. So let's get started. I want to start this episode off with some podcasting tidbits. These are things that I have come across from the past couple of weeks that I want to share with you. I just caught up with the Grocery Girls podcast. That's Jody and Tracy up in Canada. I really enjoy how they do their podcast. They're a lot of fun, and they actually have a thread on their Ravelry group for crocheters, and you can share your whips and your FOs, and it seems like a lot of fun, so check it out. I also caught up with Amber of the Yarn Hoarder podcast, and she also crochets and shows her lovely crochet stuff, but she also spins and she weaves, and she is a sock knitting machine. Wow, she just blows me away with all of her socks that she knits. And if you want to drool over some yarn, definitely check her out. She is also hosting a crochet blanket make along for the whole year, and she pulls winners every quarter from that thread. So another one to check out. I'm super excited about the Cal that's being put together by Allison and Vivian of the Keep Calm and Carry On podcast. They are doing a Cal where they are basically pitting knitters against crocheters to see what team will produce the most yardage, and they are going to keep track of it with a thermometer. So if you're team crochet, you go into the thread and you put in how much yardage you're using in a project, and Allison will plug it in, and the same thing goes for knitting. And so at the end, I believe it starts May 5th and ends August 10th. So I believe at the end, the winning team, they're going to pick a winner from there. And so I'm telling you guys, let's get those crochet hooks out and let's out yard those knitters. But if you're a knitter, you can actually enter both. You can put in your knitting yardage as well, and that means you have twice as much of a chance to win since you're entering on both teams. But super excited about that. I also want to let you guys know about a new crochet podcast, the Cozy Cottage Crochet Podcast, and it's being hosted by Hannah, who's out in Florida. Check her out. She's crocheting some really pretty shawls. And I want to say, Hannah, thank you so much for the lovely words in your first podcast. I think it's wonderful that you've taken the leap and that you're joining us here in this podcasting community. We need more crocheters to do so. We need to start sharing all of our beautiful crochet stuff and putting it out there for everyone to see. Okay, so this episode is titled Size Matters. And the reason I wanted to talk to you guys about that is because I went to my local library and I found 2 books that I actually ended up purchasing, and one of them is called Curvy Girl Crochet, and it has patterns here. It has lots of patterns that are, I guess, tailored to a more plus size body. And I think one of the reasons it's been on my mind is because I came across a sweater in a magazine that I bought, which is Crochet Scene. It's this magazine right here. And I love the sweater that's in this magazine. It's this one right here. It's a striped sweater. I'm not afraid to wear stripes. You know, I've got boobage, I've got junk in the trunk. It's all good. I will rock a stripe whenever I can. But I kept thinking, man, I would love to see a spread in a crochet magazine that shows a garment in all the different sizes that the designer has provided. You know, I would love to see a sweater on a small person, a tall person, a heavier person. I would just like to see that because I think if I'm going to take the time, I guess the question is, do I want to take the time to crochet this sweater and end up looking like the Michelin Man? That's what I was thinking because I love the sweater, but what I find in crochet, well, I guess in all magazines, but since I promote, you know, I deal primarily with the crochet magazines, is that the the sizes that are always in the magazines are the small size. Now, I understand that. I have a really good friend, a childhood friend who is a fashion designer, and I know that sample sizing is towards the small side of the scale. I mean, you're talking about um, take out your tape measure so that you can get a visual for this. So you're talking about sample sizes ranges between a 23 to a 25-inch waist. Now, I was looking up online yesterday because in my head I had 25-inch as the sample size, but the trend now is actually towards a more 22 to 23-inch waist. That is not me. And I know that that's not a lot of people. I mean, I have nothing against skinny people. I love skinny people. I love tall people and short people. I love everybody. That's not my issue. My issue is that I would love to see a crochet garment sized in all the different sizes to see if something like that would, I think that that would motivate me to make more, it would open me up to make more crochet garments if I had an idea of what that would look like on a body that looks kind of like mine. That's the kick that I got on, and that's a little bit of research that I did. I also bought another book, which is, this is a relatively new book, I believe. It's Top Down Crochet Sweaters. And one of the things that attracted me to this book is that they actually talk about full figure sizing. This particular one is one that I like, and I'll show you the back of it because it's what really sold me. I love the way the back of this sweater looks. And also, they do a little bit of this, which is what I'm talking about. You know, they're showing you the same garment on two different body types. I think that's smart. I think that's really cool. Next up, I want to share my work in progress, which is the Hotel of Bees shawl. It's a pattern by Christina Hattering, and I've done that much. Beautiful pattern. I'm really enjoying it. I had to frog it 3 times, but that's my fault. I didn't realize that there was a visual guide in the pattern, which after the 3rd time I frogged this and restarted it, and I saw the pictures, I'm like, duh. Okay, because I had like my wings going the wrong way, and well, anyway, it's been smooth sailing ever since. Hoping to finish this soon, and the yarn has been really lovely to work with. Hasn't been an issue that's thicker than what she has outlined in her pattern. So after that gets done, I will be working on my my Dora shawls, which I'm just chomping at the bit to get started. I actually wound up the yarn, but I'm not going to work on it until I finish this. Moving on to finished objects, I have two that I want to share with you. One that I finished over the weekend, and one that I've had for a while but is going to now be sent to a new home. A good friend of mine, her mom has taken ill, but she's on her way to recovery. And I am a big believer in prayer and of sending good energy out into the world, healing energy. I think that's really important. And I love the idea of prayer shawls. I've done some in the past, and I decided that I wanted to send her a prayer shawl. So I found a pattern that I thought was relatively easy and quick. I had the yarn from Stash, and so I started working on it. And if you follow me on Instagram, you saw a little bit of when I started it and then the finished object. The pattern is free on Ravelry. It's called the Wilston Shawl. It's by Cynthia Miller. There is a picture in the Ravelry page. It's on Ravelry. There's a picture of it, but there's no picture when you print it out. And so it calls for like a little scalloped edging. I left that out, but I did go ahead and finish the shawl. Very simple. I like the shape of it. I had some Red Heart Boutique in the color Candied that I used, and I believe it's a 8mm hook. That's why it gives it a nice, you know, a nice open lacy look. So I'm very happy with that. It's very soft, and I will get that in the mail for her today. The other finished object that I want to talk to you about is something that I crocheted a little bit a while ago. And as you know from my first episode, I did some spring cleaning, and I came across a lot of finished objects, finished things that I made, hats and shawls and, you know, cows that are just basically sitting here that I think need to go to people that need it. And one of them is a really beautiful shawl that I love this pattern. Peekaboo shawl. It looks like this. The designer is Carrie Carpenter. You can find this pattern and it's an older magazine, Crochet World. It's the February 24th. Look, it's got bees. I just noticed that. Anyway, it's the February 2014 issue of Crochet World. And I made mine with Simply Soft yarn. Completely followed the pattern. I made no changes, so I did everything that the pattern required, except I used different yarn. You know, I did a little picot edging on it, which I thought was really fun. So it was a really nice, it's a really nice make, but I haven't used it. It's just sitting here, and I contacted Jillian from the Cuckoo for Cows podcast. If you haven't checked her podcast out, you should. She's a young lady. I think she's in her early 20s. I think she's in her early 20s. And she taught herself how to knit. She taught herself how to crochet. And she has really good energy. If you like some of that East Coast sass, you should definitely check her out. She's so much fun. I always laugh when I watch her podcast. But unfortunately, Jillian lost her father to a drunk driving accident, and he was only 43 years old. But because he was an organ donor, they were able to donate, and I'll read from her Ravelry page. They were able to donate his heart, both kidneys, liver, and corneas. So that basically saved the lives of 4 people. And she was gifted a shawl that she considers, a treasured piece because it reminds her of her dad. So she actually works for the Wrapped in Love organization that collects shawls and scarves and gives them to the families of organ donors. So I contacted her and I said, I have this shawl. Can I send it to you? She emailed me the information and I'll be getting this to her this week. Also, on this whole charity uh, theme that I've been exploring this week, I went to Knit Picks to actually order some yarn, which I have no business doing, but I did anyway. But I came across a really wonderful free book. It's an ebook, so you don't have to print this out, but I printed it out so I could show you. And it's called Helping Hands. It has crochet and knitted patterns in here that are free, and also they have 6 charities that they let me show you a pattern, for example. So they have this, crochet blanket. And if you read on, it gives you a charity that you can actually contact and donate to. This is the Linus Project. Each pattern in this free ebook has a charity attached to it. There is a doggy blanket, there is a hat, there is a baby blanket, a pick line band, which is this, and it goes in the arm when somebody has a pick line. I actually am going to crochet those for myself, not because I have a pick line, but because I've been having some issues with my elbows and tender spots from arthritis. I've developed some what's called nodules that are, it makes it very painful for me to just rest my arms on tables and things. So I thought something like this would be very helpful. And the ebook actually has a lot of really beautiful pictures. So like I said, even if you don't print it out, I think take a look at it. Maybe, you like the hat or you like the blanket. But it's pretty wonderful. I think it's a pretty cool little book that they've put out. All right, so from there, I want to talk to you guys about, God, I'm having such a horrible hair day. Like, there's days that I wake up and I literally think I want to cut all my hair off, okay? Because I have this thick curly hair and whatever. It's a side tangent. It's just been my frustration this morning. I want to share with you that I bought the Riley and Saunders sock book from the Crochet Project. I am on a mission to crochet socks. I really want to. I'm still working on my survival socks. I actually had to put it down because I wanted to do the prayer shawl for my mom's friend. But I am super excited to try to keep finding a way to crochet socks so that are beautiful and comfortable. And I think that crochet socks have come a long way, and I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about $3mm hooks. Yes, I got my 3mm hooks. They're Hayas. I just like saying that. Like, I want to just keep saying that. Haya. So I got these from the lovely Faye from the Knit It, Hook It, Craft It website. She's also the host of the Crochet Circle podcast. Check out her website. It's got really high quality stuff. I really enjoyed shopping on her website. And it won't be the last time that I purchase stuff from her. I got this, which is a swatch measuring tool. And I'm excited about this because as I'm saying, I want to crochet more garments, and I'm going to swatch and I'm going to do it the right way so that I have the best possible chance of successfully crocheting a garment. And it says here, hook it, swatch it, check it. And I love that because, you know, we crocheters don't get a lot of love when it comes to stuff like this. And you can order this to say knit it, swatch it, check it, or you can order it so it says hook it, swatch it, check it. And I think that's a wonderful touch. I also purchased this, which is the crochet book that Lynn Rowe and Faye put out. And let me tell you, if you've watched their podcast, this is their baby. This is blood, sweat, and tears. And it is a beautifully produced book. I mean, this paper is like a baby's booty. It's so soft and luscious. So, and the pictures, the photographs in here are wonderful. If you don't know what this book is about, they've basically taken a crochet pattern, and each of them, Lynn and Faye, crocheted like their interpretation. They chose the yarn, sometimes different yarn and different, you know, weight of yarn, and you can see here's a good example of it. So this is the blanket. One was crocheted by Lynn and one was crocheted by Faye, and same pattern, just a different take on it. The one pattern that I'm just dying to make is this shawl pattern called Colosseum. This is what I want to make. I think that's just beautiful. And I think it's a one skein. It only takes 383 yards, and it uses a 3mm hook. Thank God I have my 3mm hook now, right? So I have some beautiful indie dye yarn that I would love to try out and make that pattern. She also very generously included these little tags that say crochet worthy, and they're care tags, so that when you give some, you know, a crochet make to someone, they'll know how to take care of it. And she was very generous to include that in my order. Won't be the last time I order, actually, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to order one more of these as a giveaway. Maybe when I hit 100 subscribers, I'll do a nice giveaway of this book, because it's got some really, really beautiful patterns. Look at that bag. Like, who wouldn't want to have that bag? All right, so then moving on. I find myself saying that to my kids now. Moving on. Which, by the way, I am like the coolest thing in my house right now, because my kids know I do a podcast, and they're dying to be there. They keep saying to me, when are we going to be in your video? When are we going to be in your video? And now they're like thinking they're going to have a YouTube channel and they're going to be podcasting, but they're crazy. And then I've also been researching indie yarn dyers. You know, from watching Grocery Girls, from watching other podcasts, you know, the Yarn Hoarder, there's a couple of indie yarn dyers that are just amazing, and everybody talks about them. And, you know, I actually have bought some yarn from those shops, from those indie dyers. But there's also, I think, other smaller indie yarn dyers that I would love to promote, especially US-based ones. In particular, I'm looking for California-based ones, and I've reached out to some, and I should be getting some yarn from them that I can share with you in the coming episodes. But I want to, I'm really excited about sharing this one. Okay, her name is Shannon. She's from Fort Collins, Colorado, and her website is Yarn Baby. So it's www.yarnbaby.biz. And right away, right away, what completely sold me on her is that if you go to her Instagram account, she will swatch up her yarns, not just knitted. She will do a crochet swatch of her yarns. Where have you seen that? Where have you seen an indie dyer swatch up their yarn as a crochet swatch? I haven't. She's the first person that I've come across. And I actually, when I first saw it, I sent her a message and I said, how fantastic that you're doing that, because I love to see how the yarns look in a crochet stitch. I mean, I see, obviously I can see what it looks like in knit, but what is that yarn going to look like in crochet? So she does that basically because she is a crocheter. She's crocheted. And, but look at this. This is what I bought from her. That is super luscious color. Beautifully soft. Look at that. Look at all those colors. Wonderful. This is called Woodland Glade. It's a DK weight 85%, I'm assuming 85% wool and silk. Okay. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I mean, just, I can't get over those colors. I can't wait to make something with this. But I contacted her and I said, listen, I would love to pull some pictures from your website. Is that okay? Because I want to show people how you swatch up and crochet and knit. She actually emailed me pictures. So you'll see a little slideshow. And I would definitely recommend. And you know what's really cute too in her packaging? She's got this cool little stamp that she puts on it. And again, I'm done. Just went way faster than I thought it was going to go. Oh, although I do have a little purchasing situation. I don't know if I should discuss it, but I won't name any names. I went on Etsy and I purchased, only because I would love to get some feedback from you guys if you've had the situation before. I purchased some project bags from an Etsy shop. They looked really nice. I was so excited to get them. I got the package. I opened up the package and a waft of cigarette smoke just whoosh, enveloped me. The packaging smelled like cigarette smoke. The project bags smell like cigarette smoke. I'm very sensitive to smells, and so I thought, well, I tried to get my husband to smell them, but he was like, I'm not smelling that. So I took them to my daughter's Girl Scout meeting yesterday, and I had 3 of my Girl Scout moms take a sniff, and all 3 of them said it smelled like cigarette. So I was quite disappointed about that. I let them air out. I let a full day of the bags being out, air them out, and because a lot of them are very crafty people, they sew, they knit, I asked them if they knew of a way that you could take that smell out, and one of them said, it's really hard, and if you put your yarn in it, your yarn and your project are going to smell like cigarette. So I'm very disappointed about that, and I don't want to leave, I don't know if this is bad, I don't want to leave a negative review until I give her a chance to respond. So I have sent her a message to see how she wants to deal with the situation. But I'm looking through all the reviews in her shop, and they're all stellar. They're all like 5 stars, and everything's wonderful and perfect and beautiful. So I'm just wondering if maybe I am an anomaly in her shop. Like, I don't know. I'm just a little bit at a loss as to what to do. I've never had anything like that happen. I've always had wonderful experiences with Etsy sellers, and so this is my first time dealing with that. So I'm going to give her a chance to figure out what she wants to do, but I just don't understand how that could happen. I mean, if you're selling on Etsy and you're selling fabric and you're a smoker, maybe you need to figure out a different way of making, bagging, shipping stuff. I don't know. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. I am so grateful, and I'm so happy that you have found my little podcast interesting enough to subscribe. Also, thank you again for reaching out with your lovely comments, and I hope to see you in 2 weeks. I am Crochet Luna on Instagram, Ravelry, Facebook, and my blog is Crochet Luna. So have a great rest of the week. Crochet on, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.